Woohoo! This week you learned about a secretary bird, and so this title is called Who Would Win? Do you think a rattlesnake would win, or do you think a secretary bird would win? And you know, we've been reading about them and researching about them all this week, so what do you think? Do they have the adaptations to survive that rattlesnake bite? Who knows? Here we go. The rattlesnake is hungry and is looking for a bird to eat. What bird should it go after? It attacks a bird. Who would win? I'm going to turn my light over this way and hoping it won't make such a glare so that you guys can see the pictures very well. Whoop. Technology. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Way better. Birds of prey. Should the rattlesnake attack an osprey? This ocean bird eats by catching fish with its sharp talons. Ospreys are also known as seahawks. A bald eagle? It's a national symbol of the United States of America. Fun fact, you can find it on a $1 bill. A barn owl? It eats mice, voles, shrews, and other mammals. An owl's feathers are shaped so it can fly quietly. A vulture? Not a pretty bird. A cairn is the rotten body of a dead animal. A peacock? What a beautiful tail feathers. This bird is part of the pheasant family. A male is a peacock and a female is a peahen. A wild turkey? Sorry, turkey. A sand crane? It kind of looks like a dinosaur with feathers. Sound cranes squawk so loud that you can hear them miles away. A hummingbird? No, too small. A hummingbird egg is about the size of an M&M. None of these birds look interesting enough. So how about a secretary bird? What a strange name. We'll meet it soon. Meet the rattlesnake. The western diamondback rattlesnake is a venomous snake found in North America, right here where we live. Its scientific name means a fierce rattle. Repeated shedding on its skin creates a rattle at the end of its tail, and when it's threatened, the snake rattles its tail. Venomous means having a poisonous bite. Can you identify different rattlesnakes by the designs on their scales? Do you see the diamond snake pattern in the diamond back? Meet the secretary bird. Look how cool that bird is. The secretary bird lives in Africa. It has an unusual diet. It eats snakes and other animals. Birds don't have arms and hands. They have wings. Its head looks like it's surrounded by quill pens, and that's how it got its name, the secretary bird. And if you were to go to the San Diego Wild Animal Park or the San Diego Zoo, they actually have some secretary birds located in some of the exhibits. Length. The western diamondback rattlesnake can grow up to about 7 feet long. Here is a silhouette of a basketball player and a rattlesnake. A silhouette is a dark shape against a lighter colored background. A rattlesnake weighs about 15 pounds. If you hear the rattle, stay away. It's not the biggest or the smallest snake, but it is a deadly venomous snake. For the bird, it's very, very tall. A secretary bird can grow up to 4 feet tall. That's taller than most kindergartners. The extinct 12-foot tall moa was the largest known bird that lived on Earth. The tallest living bird is the ostrich, which is about 9 feet tall. A secretary bird weighs about 12 pounds. Most of its height is in its legs. Long, skinny legs. And this is a picture of about a 5-year-old versus a secretary bird and a basketball player versus the snake, which is really, really long. So the snake is longer. It's a reptile. A reptile is a cold-blooded vertebrate animal that is covered in dry scales and a horny plate. Snakes, lizards, crocodilians, and turtles are reptiles. Vertebrae, you know what a vertebrae means. A vertebrae means an animal with a spinal cord or a backbone. Most reptiles lay eggs, and snakes have scales. The rattlesnake has a forked tongue, and its tongue is multi-talented. It can taste, it can smell, and it even tells its temperature. Birds are warm-blooded winged vertebrates that are covered in feathers and have scaly legs and a beak. Kiwi, penguin, chickens, ostrich, emus, elephant birds, and rays cannot fly. The secretary bird does not have a special tongue. Birds have beaks. Look at how sharp that beak is. Beaks, not teeth. Here's a rattlesnake skeleton versus a secretary bird's skeleton. Ribs, ribs, and more ribs. What does the skeleton remind you of? Kind of like a coiled spring or a slinky, or maybe even a dragon. Rattlesnakes have between 200 and 400 vertebrae and ribs. Snakes have teeth called fangs. Humans, we only have 33 vertebrae in the back of our bones, and we have 12 sets of ribs. Some nicknames of the secretary bird are the African marching eagle, or serpent eagle, or a devil horse. Most birds, including the secretary birds, have knees that bend backwards, kind of like a flamingo, right? All right, so where can they find me? Here's the United States right here. Western diamondback rattlesnakes live mostly in western North America. Here is where they live, and here's California right here on the side. Okay. When people have a contest to catch a rattlesnake, it's called a rattlesnake roundup. P.S. Don't try that at home. The secretary bird lives in the grassy plains of the savannas of Africa. A group of birds is called a flock. A savanna is a treeless plain, and we also know what other animals live in the African savanna, don't we? What's special about rattlesnakes? Check that out. What's special about rattlesnakes? A rattle is at the end of the tail. The rattle is at the tail end of the snake. A rattlesnake is not the type of snake to go looking for trouble. The rattle sound is a warning that you must stay away. Rattlesnakes molt or shed their skin. The more times they shed, the longer their rattles get. So this rattlesnake right here has shed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 times. What is so special about secretary birds? They have the longest legs of any bird of prey. Their lower legs are extra skinny. This protects the secretary bird because there's nothing for the snake to bite. Adaptation. Birds have 4 toes on each foot. Their toes are sharp as razor blades. Watch out. They kick and they stomp. They even kick snakes. All right, now who do you think is going to win? Now who do you think is going to win? Who knows? We still have a couple more pages before they get in a fight, okay? All right, delicious. What do each of them eat? Rattlesnakes prefer to eat small mammals. This rattlesnake is eating a mouse. Rattlesnakes eat rabbits, rats, voles, mice, squirrels, gerbils, prairie dogs, chipmunks, and even hamsters. Snakes do not chew their food. They swallow their food whole. Rattlesnakes have no interest in eating humans. People are way too big for them. But rattlesnakes eat only what they can swallow whole. They also eat frogs, birds, lizards, and also they eat other snakes. Notice how they didn't say that they can eat a secretary bird. nor we know that a secretary bird is too big for the snake to swallow and it swallows its whole. Maybe that's a little bit of a hint. The secretary bird eats snakes and lizards. When they find a snake, they kick them with their razor-sharp claws. Whap, whap, whap. And they also attack with their sharp beaks. Here is a secretary bird eating a lizard. Look at that. A young secretary bird eats insects. And there it is. So a snake can live between 15 and 20 years in the wild, and a secretary bird lives 10 to 14 years. Okay, famous. There is a Major League Baseball team called the Arizona Diamondbacks. Snakes have dry skin, and they are not greasy or slimy. The Florida A&M Rattlers have a great logo on their helmet. Why is everybody afraid of me? Oddball. The secretary bird is such a strange name. Should it be renamed to soccer bird because of its kicking ability? It is a unique bird. It has a face like an eagle and legs like a stork, and it eats birds of prey. The secretary bird is a national symbol of Sudan. It is also on the coat of arms of South Africa, where it lives. Slow. Run. Rattlesnakes move slowly. They slither up to 2 or 3 miles per hour. Rattlesnakes can go underground to hide and be safe. Their home is called a den. A den is a home of community of snakes that burrow in the home of one snake. Up to 200 rattlesnakes can live in a den. Please do not ever take me to a den. The secretary bird runs really fast. It is considered a terrestrial bird, which means that it mostly stays on the ground, but it prefers to run. It can fly, but it takes a while to get it off of the ground. At night, secretary birds fly up in the trees and sleep safely. Lions, hyenas, and jackals cannot get them in a tree. And that's where they stay up high. Thank goodness. Otherwise, those animals would eat them. All right, here are their weapons. What weapons does a rattlesnake have, and what weapons does a secretary bird have? Do you know? From me reading? All right. Rattlesnakes have fangs and poisonous venom. They bite and then inject the venom through their hollow fangs. Rattlesnake venom is coagulant, which means it ruins the lining of your cells. When it attacks, it is lightning fast. And there it is, very quickly, coiling up, and 1, 2, 3, boom, and attacking. The secretary bird has four great weapons. It can fly, it can run fast, and it has a sharp beak and deadly claws. A raptor is a bird that hunts and eats other animals. It can jab with its beak, stomp with its feet, and kick with its long legs. All right, who do you think's going to win now? Because here they go. They're going to about ready to meet off. Who do you think? Why do you think? The secretary bird is in a tree, ready to hunt. It's on the lookout. In the wild, it is eat or be eaten. The secretary bird looks down on the ground for food. A rattlesnake is safe and sound in its den, and it's getting pretty hungry, so it decides to take a peek outside. There we go. The rattlesnake kicks its head out of its hole. It's looking for a tasty mouse or a delicious rat to eat. The secretary bird sees the snake, swoops down, and uses its feet to stomp the rattlesnake's head. Ouch! That hurts! And the snake wiggles its way back into its den. Now the secretary bird is on the ground. It can fly, but it also can run very fast. It looks around. Where did that snake go? The snake decides to fake out the bird and uses its secret sound escape tunnel. Most raptors attack from the air, but the secretary bird actually attacks from the ground. The bird hears it. As the rattlesnake moves out of the den, the secretary bird uses its foot and stomps on the snake again. Look at that. Kind of has it in a death hold, right? The snake moves into a defensive position to bite the bird. The secretary bird's body is too tall for the snake to reach. The snake tries to sink its fangs into the bird's ankles, but there's just not enough to bite, and the bird dances away. The snake tries to bite again. Yikes! Poison! The bird has to be careful. The bird kicks at the snake. Whap! And then the bird stomps on the snake with its razor-sharp claws. Whap! The bird kicks the snake again, and the snake goes flying in the air. This is exactly how this bird catches its prey. Adaptation, isn't that crazy? It has these skinny little legs so that when something tries to bite it, because it eats snakes, on its legs, it has nothing to grab onto. The snake lands on the ground and decides to skip dinner and escape very quickly to its den. As the snake moves back and forth across the ground, the secretary bird keeps kicking on it. Whap, whap, whap! And in between kicks, the secretary bird pecks the snake on its head. Bop! The snake is wounded. The secretary bird uses its wings to balance itself while it's stomping on a snake. The bird gives another kick. Whap, whap. I think by now you know who's going to win, right? The secretary bird eats the rattlesnake. The fight is over. What must it be like to eat a wounded, venomous snake? Check that out. That is an awesome picture right there. Okay, so in that, guess who wins? The secretary bird wins, and because the secretary bird has so many adaptations to fight off the rattlesnake, that's how they won. I hope you picked secretary bird. All right, remember this is an AR test too, so if your school has AR, then you can take an AR test on rattlesnake versus secretary bird. I hope you won.